Forget the massive towers reaching into the sky. While humans build upwards, nature's true architects are working in silence all around us. Right beneath our noses, they're creating marvels so complex, even elite engineers cannot compete. We're about to uncover the brilliant work of creatures so small, yet so skilled. They build structures that challenge gravity and logic itself, with nothing but beaks and feathers. Ready to witness something extraordinary? Let's dive in. Number 15. Boa weavers. They say nature doesn't have architects, but the boa weaver proves otherwise. During South Asia's monsoon season, male boa weavers transform into one-bird construction crews. Each selects a high, thorny branch above water, somewhere snakes and rats can't reach. Then the weaving begins. Using strips of grass or palm fibers, each one about 20 to 60 centimeters long, a single male threads over 3,000 loops to create a hanging structure shaped like a sock. The nest starts small, reaching its helmet stage after 8 days. Then comes the marketing. The male sings and flaps his wings, advertising his unfinished home. If a female inspects and approves, he finishes the long entrance tunnel. If not, he tears it down and starts from scratch. He'll do this up to 20 times in a season. Some nests hang in colonies of 20 to 60, all angled away from southwest monsoon winds like miniature storm shelters. Myths once claimed Baya weavers glued fireflies to their nests for light, but researchers like Suhail Quad and T. Anthony Davis confirm the real brilliance. Males add clay or dung for reinforcement. No fireflies, just function. Even more revealing, nests higher up on thinner branches are safer, more successful. Number 14. Montezuma or a pendula nest. And just when you think birds couldn't get more dramatic, the Montezuma or a penduline steps in like a hanging opera house stitched into the trees of Central America. Female Montezuma or a pendula weaves her own nest from vines and fibers, suspending it from thin, high branches where predators don't dare. These nests can hang as low as 2 feet or as long as 6 feet. Seriously, their pouch shape works like a windproof baby cradle with a deep chamber that shelters her eggs from storms and climbing threats. In one colony, you might see 30 of these hanging pods. In another, 172. But inside each one, it's a solo mission. The female lays 2 dark speckled eggs, but usually only one chick survives. Nature is beautiful. It's also brutal. Now, here's where myth and science blend. Local legend says oropendolas build near hornet nests for protection. Turns out that one's mostly true. Wasps chase off cowbirds and parasites, while the aurora's presence scares off bees that threaten the hornets. It's mutual protection, a natural alliance hidden in plain sight. And while females handle construction, the males, they don't just sit around. They swing upside down, flaring their yellow tails, releasing bubbling calls at 500 hertz like clockwork. Meredith Miles, a biologist who tracked these dances, called it timed choreography. And it's all to win her over right under the nest she built. Number 13. Sociable weaver. Deep in the Kalahari, the sociable weaver stack sticks like architects sketching blueprints with their beaks. But they're not just building for themselves, they're building for generations. Their nest's massive. This is a communal nest. We're talking structures that stretch over 10 feet wide, sometimes weighing nearly a ton. One nest can hold anywhere from 10 to 500 birds, with 5 to 100 individual rooms tucked inside. Think of it as a giant haystack, only it's alive, buzzing, breathing, and balanced on a single tree or a telephone pole. The layout is genius. Tunnels up to 10 in long lead to chambers that stay cool during scorching days and warm during freezing nights. Inside, temperatures hold steady around 21 to 24 degrees C, while outside it can dip to near zero. Scientists actually recorded this, confirming that these nests are natural climate control units made of nothing but twigs and grass. But here's the wild part. These nests aren't temporary. They've lasted over 100 years in some cases. Passed down, rebuilt, protected. And they don't just serve sociable weavers, pygmy falcons, finches, vultures, tree skinks. They all find shelter here. Even snakes crawl through these halls hunting eggs, only to be met with sharp stick fortresses guarding the tunnels. And the mythology in the Kalahari, stories say these nests glow with life like sacred temples. And in a way, they are architecture, survival, legacy. But if you think sticks and teamwork are impressive, Wait until you hear about a bird that builds using its own spit. Number 12. Cave swiftlets. The cave swiftlet, a bird so committed to design it uses saliva as cement. These tiny birds live in the pitch-black caves of Southeast Asia and the islands beyond. No grass, no twigs, no leaves, just vertical rock walls and one tool. Saliva thick enough to hold a nest in place like glue. They start by choosing a safe spot high on a cave ceiling. Then over 35 days, they build a small cup-shaped nest about 8 centimeters wide, layering strand after strand of hardened spit. Each structure weighs only 6 g, but can hold 2 eggs and 2 adult birds. That's efficiency and durability in pure biological form. Some of the largest cave systems like Gamanung and Borneo hold thousands of these nests clinging to the stone like white petals. And since the 14th century, humans have climbed up bamboo scaffolding to collect them for bird's nest soup, once believed to grant youth, vitality, and power. One myth claims red nests have stronger effects, but the truth, the red color comes from guano acid, not magic. Still, there's a reason these nests became treasures. The swiftlet saliva contains rare glyoproteins and minerals, forming a natural bioadhesive that modern scientists are still trying to understand. But all that attention nearly wiped them out. Over-harvesting pushed them to the brink, especially in the Andaman Islands. Then came a turnaround. Caves protected from 2000 to 2008 saw swiftlet numbers jump by 39%. That's what happens when we stop taking and start listening. Now, speaking of ground-level design, there's another bird that builds its nest right into the forest floor. Number 11, the Ovenbird. The Ovenbird doesn't build in the sky, on cliffs, or inside caves. It builds right into the earth, quiet, hidden, and warm. And somehow this small ground-dwelling bird creates a structure that rivals any high-rise nest in strategy and design. Dense forests of North America, the female Ovenbird clears a patch of leaf litter and starts weaving using grass, twigs, animal hair, and thin bark. She builds a dome-shaped shelter that looks like a miniature Dutch oven, hence the name. It takes her about 5 days to finish the curved structure, which stands around 13 centimeters tall and 23 centimeters wide. Inside, a snug cup just wide enough for her speckled eggs. What makes the nest so clever is the hidden entrance on the side, usually facing downhill. That angle, combined with its camouflage in the underbrush, keeps snakes and chipmunks from spotting it from above. When a predator does get too close, the mother pulls off one of nature's greatest decoys, pretending to be injured and luring danger away. She lays 3 to 6 eggs, usually 4 or 5. And after about 11 to 14 days of incubation, the chicks hatch. They leave the nest in just over a week, but stay close under her wing for nearly a month. This nest isn't just a home, it's a sculpture unique in curve, tilt, and material. It's said no 2 Ovenbird nests are exactly alike. Even poets noticed. Robert Frost wrote of the Ovenbird's call and craft back in 1916. And in some Argentine villages, people believe destroying one of these nests will bring drought. So they treat the Ovenbird's home as a good luck charm, and sometimes even build their own homes nearby. But from forest floor to sky-high colonies, now we're heading back into the air, where architecture becomes collective and mud is the main tool. Number 10. Cliff swallows. Enter the cliff swallow. One of the world's best communal architects, this little bird doesn't build alone. It brings the whole neighborhood using up to 200 mud pellets, each one carried in its beak from stream beds and puddles. The cliff swallow shapes an inverted gourd, a hanging pot of clay with a long, narrow entrance tunnel. Each finished nest is a bee, out 8 in wide and 4 in tall, with thick walls that insulate against heat and protect from predators. But the real marvel, these nests are never solo projects. Under bridges, cliffs, and overpasses, swallows create cities. Some colonies hold hundreds, sometimes even 6,000 nests packed side by side, and both male and female build, hatch, and defend their home like a 2-bird construction crew. Inside, they line the cup with feathers and grass, then lay 3 to 4 eggs, though sometimes 1 or even 6. Both parents share the duty of feeding chicks, which fledge after about 3 weeks. But not every swallow plays fair. Females have been known to sneak eggs into their neighbors' nests, a sneaky move called brood parasitism. Now, some folks used to think these nests were just fragile blobs of mud that would fall apart in the rain. Wrong. The design is deliberate, balanced, precise, and tested by time. A study even showed their center of gravity is so well placed it holds up like a mini fortress. Natural 3D printing, pretty much. Now we're stepping into the swampy sanctuaries of the woodstock, giants that turn sticks into sky palaces. Number 9. Woodstock. Standing over 3 feet tall, the woodstock builds wide platform nests up to 5 feet across high in trees above the water. Both parents gather sticks and leaves in a rush, finishing construction in 2 to 3 days. They even line it with green leaves sealed by their own guano for extra strength. In colonies called rookeries, dozens of nests cluster together, safe above 3 to 5 feet of swamp water, deep enough to keep raccoons out. Each pair lays 2 to 5 eggs, and chicks hatch after about 30 days. They're tiny, only 57 g, but grow fast under constant care for 50 to 60 days. Folklore once blurred the wood stork with the white stork, claiming both delivered babies. The truth, these birds deliver fish, not folklore, catching them by snapping their bills shut faster than a blink. Number 8. Pendulum tits. The pendulum tit, just a few inches long, weaves a nest so intricate it's been compared to a trapdoor mansion swinging from a tree. Using soft fibers, wool, and spider silk, the male builds a pear-shaped hanging pouch. But it's what's inside that stuns scientists. A decoy entrance leading nowhere, and the real one sealed behind a flap of spider web. It's built for trickery, safety, and warmth all in one. Some species even build 2 chambers, one false, one real. The nest stands about 20 centimeters tall and holds up to 9 eggs. Larger, thicker nests keep eggs warmer, and studies show females choose males with the best designs. The entire build takes about a week, and once used, it's never reused, but birds often return to the same spot each year. Humans admired these nests so much they once used them as slippers and pouches. But next, we meet a much brighter bird, with legs in the water and its mind in the mud. Number 7. Flamingo. When it comes to building in mud, nobody does it quite like the flamingo. These elegant birds don't just stand in shallow water, they shape it. Together, a pair uses their bills and feet to sculpt a tall, cone-shaped nest from wet mud. The mound stands around 45 centimeters high and just as wide at the base with a small crater at the top to cradle a single oversized egg. Why the height? It keeps the egg dry during sudden floods and cool under the heat as moisture evaporates from the surface. Nature's own air curve, auditioning. In tight-knit colonies called flamboyances, nests sit less than a meter apart, forming a dense grid of mud towers. Once the chick hatches, it stays up top for a week before joining a crush, a sort of flamingo daycare, while both parents bring meals, including a rich crop milk full of fat and protein. A myth says flamingos use twigs or steel nests. False. It's all mud-shaped by instinct and determination. But if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear what happens when a bird becomes a builder and a demolition crew all in one. Number 6. Woodpeckers. The woodpecker isn't just a bird, it's a full-blown excavation expert. Using a powerful bill and reinforced skull, it drills deep into tree trunks to carve out the perfect nesting chamber. A typical cavity has a tiny entrance hole just a few centimeters wide, leading into a hollow chamber up to 24 centimeters deep. They pick trees with decayed heartwood, but solid outer bark. Easy to carve, tough to break. It takes anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 years, depending on the species. The red cockaded woodpecker. It carves into living pine over multiple seasons. Inside, the bird lays 3 to 6 glossy white eggs on a cushion of wood chips. No twigs, no grass, just the remains of its own chisel work. And despite the old myth, woodpeckers don't destroy trees. They create homes for hundreds of species. Owls, bats, insects, even other birds use abandoned cavities. Scientists call this the nest web, and woodpeckers are its engineers. They even inspired human designs. Camera shocks and helmet padding, all learned from their anatomy and from wood to woven grass. Next up is a master builder with a mask and a mission. Number 5. Southern Masked Weaver. The southern masked weaver doesn't just build nests, it builds to impress. Every breeding season, starting from September through January, the male turns into a non-stop construction machine. He weaves up to 25 nests per season, each taking about 5 days to finish. And it all starts with one bold move, tying a single grass blade onto a sturdy branch. From there, it becomes a work of woven architecture. The nest is a hanging oval dome about 20 to 25 centimeters wide, built from reeds, palm leaves, or long grass strands. The entrance always at the bottom, sometimes with a small tunnel to block out predators like monkeys or snakes. It sways, but it holds, and it's waterproof, wind-resistant, and strong. Once the male finishes, he shows off, flutters his wings, sings, puts on a show. If the female likes what she sees, she moves in and lines it with feathers and soft grass. If not, he tears it down and starts over. Unique egg colors help her spot imposter eggs from sneaky birds like the deer cuckoo. And research out of the University of Edinburgh even found that weaver males improve their craft over time, tightening patterns, reducing wasted strands. But if the weaver nest is all about finesse, the next bird on our list is all about scale. Number 4, Hamerkop. The Hamerkop doesn't just build a nest, it builds a fortress. And it does it using up to 8,000 twigs, reeds, grass, mud, and sometimes even plastic or cloth. The result, a dome-like giant that can reach up to 2 meters wide and tall, weighing between 25 to 50 kilograms. It all starts with a flat platform, then walls, then a massive roof. Finally, the pair seals it with a tunnel about 13 centimeters wide that leads to a hidden chamber inside lined with mud and roughly 50 centimeters across. Construction takes about 6 weeks with the Baya, RDS making up to 60 trips per hour during peak building. These structures are more than nests. They're landmarks. So strong, in fact, that an adult human could sit on one without breaking it. And they don't just house Hamerkops. Owls, kestrels, ducks, snakes, squirrels, all kinds of animals move in. It's why the Hamerkop is called an ecosystem engineer. In East Africa, people believe it's bad luck to disturb a Hamerkop's nest. Myths warn of lightning or disease, and whether that's superstition or not, it worked. These nests remain untouched, protected by legend. Number 3, the European beater. With feathers as vibrant as their nesting habits, European beaters are tunnel specialists. Instead of twigs or leaves, these birds dig. Using their bills and feet, they burrow straight into vertical cliffs, sandy banks, or lowest walls, sometimes up to 1 full meter deep. It takes a pair around 20 days to complete a single tunnel, ending in a rounded nesting chamber, tucked safely out of reach. In the early summer months, hundreds to even thousands of these nests may appear along the same stretch of land. Scientists recorded one 30-year study where more than 100 nests covered a single cliff with nearly 90% concentrated in soft, sandy soil. Inside each burrow, the parents lay 5 to 8 glossy white eggs. Both mom and dad incubate and feed the chicks. Teamwork all the way. And sometimes they get a little help. Older siblings or relatives often return as helpers, offering food and protection, a rare behavior in birds. There was once a rumor that bee-eaters attacked honeybee hives. Not true. Studies show they mostly eat wild bees, wasps, and even dangerous hornets like the invasive yellow-legged hornet documented in 23. Number 2. The Great Crested Grebes. The Great Crested Grebe is a master of water-based architecture. Instead of digging or hanging nests, this elegant bird builds a floating platform woven from reeds, twigs, and aquatic plants, anchored to submerged vegetation. And the nest rides on calm lakes and ponds, bobbing gently with the waves, but firmly tethered beneath the surface. Construction doesn't take long, sometimes just a few hours if conditions are right. Both parents pitch in, shaping a stable base that can hold 3 to 4 eggs. The eggs start chalky white, but soon stain brown from the wet materials in the nest. Incubation lasts 27 to 29 days, with mom and dad taking shifts in a rhythm that's almost like a silent dance. Each session lasting around 2 hours. When the chicks hatch, they're covered in stripes and nicknamed humugs. Though capable swimmers, they prefer riding on their parents' backs for the first week. It's warmth, safety, and bonding, all bundled into one graceful ride. A persistent myth once claimed grebes walk their eggs to shore. Totally false. These birds never leave the water during nesting. Their entire reproductive strategy revolves around flotation. In the 19th century, their head plumes nearly led to extinction. Fashion drove plume hunting to a peak. Only 42 nesting pairs were left in the UK, but protection groups like the RSPB turned things around. Now the grebe glides again. Nestmate and young floating safely above the surface, but high above water, where the air is sharp.